Hey, welcome to Alvas Music. This is Seth here for Seth's Tone Zone, and today I'm going to show you a delay shootout of sorts. It's between two different brands with two digital delays all around the same size, relatively the same features, and I thought I would just shoot them out. I've seen a couple other videos that shoot them out as well, but just to show you that we have both of them here. The first one is the JHS, the famous Lucky Cat delay. It used to be named something else. I did a video recently on JHS products, and I thought I would battle this against a Walrus product called the ARP-87, or I think a lot of people are saying ARP-87. They're both digital delays. They both have modulation, subdivision ratios, very similar. They're even like in the same place on the pedal. They're both the same size. They both have tap tempo, which is really cool. But I believe the ARP-87 has just a little bit more, they call them algorithms. That's like the fancy digital name for these different kinds of delays that they can digitally emulate, so to speak. And the Lucky Cat only does two different ones, but it kind of has more control over the modulation and just different features. Right off the bat, first thing we notice is the JHS has a time knob. The ARP-87 actually kind of doesn't. It's all within the tap tempo. I like that. I like to use my tap to adjust time, but for guys that are, just set it and forget it guys, they might be a little thrown off by that, and they would have to get used to that feature. But it doesn't bother me very much. I use my tap tempo all the time. The one downfall I've noticed to that is when you switch a subdivision in this one, I had noticed that the last video I was just previewing it with, or you switch the algorithm, it goes back to like an already set tempo. It doesn't have your same set tempo. So if you're like an on-the-fly guy and you got to be fast and you want to switch it, this might not be the best delay. But for guys that like pre-program everything and they have it all set and they just then they go, they'll be okay. While the JHS does have a time knob, you can mess with it. And I've noticed, I'll test it out, that when you switch the ratios up, it kind of fixes itself automatically, if that makes any sense at all. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not an English major, so there you go. Like I said, they both have tap tempo, so you can control the time both ways on this one. This thing is making the weirdest noises ever, and it's this ARP-87. It's like if I move, if you can't hear it in this video, but I'm just like, it's so weird. Let's see. Both have control of the number of repeats. The level is the same as the mix in the JHS. The dampen control is the tone control. We have a tone control here that says darken. This has a modulation switch between mod 1 and mod 2. This one has what they call an X knob, which does different things on each algorithm, and I think it kind of controls the rate of the modulation in some of these ones. This one has a switch to go to analog on the side. This one has it all up here on top. So they're both top mounted, easily powered. They're pretty much almost the same, really. They're definitely in competition with each other. So then let me shut up and start playing. I'm playing a brand new Fender Player series. I played the Telecaster with humbuckers last video, I think. I don't know when the videos come out in that order, but this one is the traditional Telecaster with the single coils, the brand new one, and a nice butterscotch. I love they went back to the spaghetti logo. Every guitar I've tried in this series, I've been super impressed with. They really improved the pickups, everything. They sound so much better than the old ones. And I love the old ones. I have old ones. I'm kind of jealous and wish I was a starting guitar player again so I can just buy these, because I don't need another Tele, but I can't convince myself to completely give in and buy these anyway. And they're priced nice. They're only like $650. They're great. I think it's like $25 more for the Pal Faro board. They don't do rosewood on these anymore. Rosewood restrictions are tough to get those in on the cheaper models now. So I am going, instead of the V40 for once, I'm actually going through, we're a Sir dealer now, and we have a few new Sir amps in here. This is the Sir Badger 30 head, and I'm going through the Victory 212, one Celestion Vintage 30, and one Vintage Anniversary, or G12 Anniversary, I think it is, or something like that. That is the weirdest noise ever. This delay is just making strange noises in here. Anyway, mic'd by an SM57, usual setup. And here is my, I kind of wanted a little bit of grit in my tone, so I set it up that way. On the neck pickup, here's my tone here. I might clean it up. Let's start with the JHS. I have it on, actually in the middle toggle, which is no modulation, and it's on digital right now. So let's just hear what that sounds like. Pretty pristine repeats. Alright, let's hear the ARP-87 in digital mode, pretty much doing the same thing. Turn the mix up a little bit for that one to match. It's digital, but it's not as crystal clear. Let me turn the modulation all the way off with this X. Yeah, that one's definitely brighter, the JHS, which, I mean, I can mess with it. It has a darken mode. I'm going to darken it, and I'll try to do the same thing with this damping control. Hear how that sounds? There we go. That's definitely brighter. So that one doesn't darken as much. Let me see if it's the other way. Sometimes these things are reversed, so let's find out. Does it seem a little darker to you? It's about the same.
About the same, yeah.
That's cool. So for those of you that kind of want to darken it more, but still be digital, whatever you want to say, you might like the JHS a little bit better. I'm going to put it, to see how bright the JHS gets. Super bright. So those of you, the digital fans, might like that a little bit better.
This one's a lot of range for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna mess with this. See, I mean, I only have the repeats like not even halfway too. So let's see. A ton of repeats in that one, where I have this one like 3 o'clock. Just a little bit darker, which is cool. But both have subdivisions, so let's see what happened to the tempo when I moved that one. I moved it up to dotted eighth, and let's see if it stays the same. Just a little faster. It actually kind of did switch with it. That's nice. Let's add some modulation in here in the digital. And that adds a really nice chorusing effect. That's on mod 1. Mod 2, it's going to be heavier. Cool. Have the X about halfway, so that's supposed to control some modulation on this. That's nice. Pretty equal, really. Cool. They're very equal in the digital mode. And it has different subdivisions. You guys know what all that is. You've already seen that in other pedals. Let's move on. I kind of have to hit this thing on the side really quick. Now I'm going to put this in analog mode, which will definitely, I'm going to put it on mod 1 so we have some modulation. This is supposed to be, it's actually not analog, it's really actually supposed to be a tape delay. So ARP-87 doesn't have a tape delay, it has an analog setting, which analog was trying to do what tape was always doing. So, you know, it just depends what you like. They're both emulating, so if you're a tape guy, you might like the pink, I keep calling it the old name. Might like the Lucky Cat. If you are an analog guy, might like the ARP-87. So let's hear Lucky Cat. That's nice. Still kind of bright. I'm going to put the dark in and see how dark it gets. Still, it's relatively a bright pedal. Cool. Let's hear ARP-87 in analog mode. See, that's what I was talking about. It reverts back to, since there's no time knob, it reverts back to whatever, like an original set, slower tempo. So in order for me to move that, I actually physically have to tap in the tempo, which is not a huge deal. It's just the way it is. That's cool.
A lot of modulation on that.
A lot of modulation. I turned it down a little bit. It's that X knob. Still a lot. See what the dampen does. See if I can brighten it up. There you go. Quite a lot of modulation. I mean, I'm gonna throw it up and just see how crazy it gets. Whoa, wow. That's really cool. I like that. I mean, I didn't get
like
too crazy. It is. It really moves. Let me put the mod all the way up on Lucky Cat real quick and darken it as much as it can. It's not as much. Nope. So for those of you that want to get crazy and spacey, might like this one better. And this is doing tape, this is doing analog. So that's where the Lucky Cat stops. You really only have 2 different sounds, while this one has 4. So I'm going to get into those a little bit. I know it doesn't sound that unfair, but that's what this kind of sounds unfair to this one, but I'm not trying to be. Here's lo-fi mode. This one the other day we were playing, I was like, God, it's got a filter within the X knob, so it's really super lo-fi. Like, it degrades majorly, and it's got like this low-end cutoff. So if you're into that kind of a sound, I'll show you what I mean. Super degrading and like a lot of high end. I thought maybe the X would change that, but it seems to change the modulation rate more than anything. So let's see. It's definitely a filter. That's like really filtery. I'm gonna turn it all the way here. That seems, yeah, really crazy. Wow, that's nuts. So if you're into that, when you got them closer together, it seems a little more manageable. I guess that's the, when you had it separated like that, you really hear the lo-fi. This is a little bit more blended in.
I like that sound a lot because the way it thins it out, it really separates the delay sound from your dry sound.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah, that's really true. I like that a lot. That Zach back there was comments. We let him talk, but nobody can see him, so never, ever. All right. Then this one has a slapback mode, which is cool for like the, I almost said hillbilly, rockabilly, or old school delay sounds. I can't play that style too much, but I'll try. So that's cool if you like slapback. I'm gonna mess with some stuff and see what it does. It's definitely getting way crazy on the mod. It's almost like too echoey. That's cool though. If you like slapback, it does it really well. So I think I've gone over almost all the features. I know this one, I was reading up on it. This is true bypass, meaning if you're still playing a delay line and you hit it, it cuts it off. Some delays have what they call like trail bypass. This one has that, meaning when you're plugging the power in, if you hold down the bypass switch for like 2 seconds, it'll switch the true bypass to like a buffered bypass mode. And basically means that when you're done playing, not when you're done, when you're switching between from on to off, it'll kind of like trail out and the delay will keep going. But then it's all clean after that and just regular. So if that makes any sense. That's kind of cool feature. This one you can feel the true bypass as you switch it in and out. This one is very quiet, which is cool. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else really. I'm probably missing something. I know this one also has a mode on the X mode. If you plug it in a certain way and hold, I think, tap or both of them, you can kind of hold down the bypass switch and it'll like ramp up and get crazy on the modulation just for a second, and then it'll come back down. A lot of new pedals are doing that. Lucky Cat does not have that. It's more traditional. I actually own the Lucky Cat, and I really like it. But as I hear this one, I'm like, man, I want that one too. But I don't know. I got to stop buying pedals, guys. This is a horrible addiction. And when you're in front of it, reviewing it, and your player, oh, man, it sucks in that way. But it's not so bad. Thanks for joining me this week. It's really hot in this room right now. It's summer. Everybody's feeling it, so I'm dying. And I think I showed you enough features. And it's still making weird noises when I move. This is... Anywho, come try all this stuff out. Yeah. Guess I'll play us out with something.